on the bread.
Man. And so like shrapnel is what? So did it catch your artery? Did it catch your artery? Hello, Tom. There you go.
Well, good morning to everyone, and it's good to be back here, what I'm going to say live in fiscal court or with real attendees. So we can all, let's put it this way, work together to move our community forward. At this time, I have 9:30, and today's date is May the 18th, 2021, and I'd like to have Larry Coy come up and give them location, please.
Our Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning thankful for the goodness and blessings and the mercy that you've shown us. We know, Lord, that you are still Lord of this world, and that we believe that you're still in control of all things. We ask your blessings upon this great nation, Father, and all of the men and women who serve to protect it, that you just continue to watch over them and guide them and direct them in everything they do. We pray that your guidance will be on our leaders this morning, Father, as they make decisions affecting this county, that you would just be with them and help them to do the right thing. Forgive us when we fail you, lift us up and strengthen us in everything that we do. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Coy and Ms. Wells. At this time, Sam, would you call roll?
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Logston? Yes. Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Everyone present?
Thank you. Fiscal court's now in session. At this time, the treasurer's transfer report. Ms. Sharp?
Yes, Judge, and those transfers were dated for, May 18th of 2021 for your approval.
Second.
Got a motion by 1st District Magistrate Mitchell, a second by 3rd District Magistrate Laswell to approve the treasurer's transfer report as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, Sam, call the roll, please.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Presentation and approval of all bills.
Make a motion to approve all bills. Second.
Got a motion by 4th District Magistrate Rahal, a second by 2nd District Magistrate Logston to approve the bills as presented. In discussion? Sam, call the roll, please.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. The treasurer's report? Yes, ma'am.
In your packets, I've presented to you the fund receipt report, the appropriation condition report, a warrant distribution, a monthly revenue journal, and also the financial statement through April the 30th of 2021 for your approval.
I put it in the form of motion that we approve the treasurer's report as presented.
Second.
Got a motion by 2nd District Magistrate Logston, a second by 4th District Magistrate Rahal to approve the treasurer's transfer, the treasurer's report as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, Sam, call the roll, please.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Thank you, Treasurer Sharp. Approval of the minutes for the May the 4th, 2021 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by First District Magistrate Mitchell, a second by Second District Magistrate Logsdon to approve the minutes from May the 4th, 2021 Fiscal Court as presented. Any discussion, members of the court?
No.
Good job, Sam. Sam, call the roll, please.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. There is no business at this time. Under new business, we have action. I'm going to make the motion to hire 3 full-time paramedics, Olivia Coulter, Daniel Carlton, and Jason Jones as full-time paramedics at $25 an hour, effective today, May the 18th of 2021. And
I'll second that motion.
I have a second by First District Magistrate Mitchell. Any discussion? Hearing none. Sam, call the roll, please.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes, yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Under new business, action item number 2, I'm going to make the motion to hire Evelyn Coward as a full-time EMT at $17.50 an hour, effective today, May the 18th, 2021.
Second.
I have a second by both Second District Magistrate Logsdon and Fourth District Magistrate Rahal. Any discussion? Sam, call the roll, please.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Under new business, number 3, I'm requesting the action to hire Nathan Webster, Terry Gooseberg, is that correct, Eric? Yes. Thank you. Matthew Cahill as part-time paramedics at $25 an hour, effective today, May the 18th of 2021.
Second.
Got a second by 4th District Magistrate Rahal. Any discussion? Hearing none, Sam, call the roll, please.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. And on a footnote to those 3 action items, I'd like to thank Director Cook for his detailed his details on what each hire at the EMS service, what their roles are and their qualifications. And now we run 7 ambulances during the day and 5 at nighttime. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks so much.
Action item number 4, actions requested to pay cleanup day workers at a rate of $30 an hour. Mr. Hatfield, would you like to speak to that for just a few minutes or take questions from members of the court?
Thank you, Judge. Yeah, this is just so that once they're done, they don't have to wait 2 to 3 weeks to get their money. I figured that pretty much the road department into, just as a guesstimation, it's probably going to be the same as it was last year, probably right a little under 20,000. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to get the inmates out yet. I'm working on that with the jailer, Mr. Paul Watkins, but as of last week, still no go, cause of the public. So I'm going to keep pushing it, because we sure could use them, and it saved us. I didn't realize how much money it saved us, but last year we did 88 dumpsters, and we spent close to $68,000.
Right.
Biggest year we've ever had in the 17 years I've been here.
I'll tell you what, you didn't see the junk dumped on the side of the roads like you used to. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think it's
helping
helped,
on the
and,
bunch.
we've caught a lot of people illegal dumping and prosecuted them. And so every day is a different world.
We appreciate it, Larry.
In my job.
But now I notice that there is some litter abatement going on too and everything with,
We have started, we have one man out with about 5 to 6 inmates. And I had a meeting with the jail 2 weeks ago, showing how to start to do the paperwork, make sure that's turned in correct for the state. I am working with Justin and Crystal Cribs and letting them also learn how to do that. And I told Paul, we cannot touch it with one man.
No.
So he's still trying to get more people. There again, if you all want to try to hire 3 or 4 part-times where we don't pay no benefits, I've run that by Paul. We can run them through the jail. Makes me absolutely no difference as long as they're able to watch the inmates or they can pick it up, whatever. I can get that worked out. So if we don't get them out in the next 30 days, I strongly suggest that.
Okay.
Well, I do support that because if there's any way in the world we can keep the county clean and, help the situation because it's,
When we get a hot spot,
Yeah.
like dump the couch or chair on somewhere, and we could send them to get that, or save the road department.
Yeah.
Road department's been pretty good, we get things that sometimes they even dump it in the road.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll come out and they'll clean this stuff up and everything pretty quick there, especially on our county roads and everything. But it's a win-win situation when you got the inmates out there.
Yep. June the 12th, we'll be at Mount Washington Middle and North Bullitt. June the 26th, we'll be at the Shepherdsville parking lot where the old school used to be, Lebanon Junction, and Nichols.
Okay.
So we'll be there. We'll start unloading at 8. We'll be there at 4 o'clock. But don't everybody get in a hurry come one time.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it's going to be even maybe a bigger year this year than last year. A lot of people are kind of stuck at home and cleaning around their house and doing projects and stuff. I think, and I know Mount Washington canceled theirs. We talked about that.
Them last week also.
Yeah, so I know Mount Washington is probably going to be bigger than it ever has, but yeah, so if we need to do something.
I can't hardly wait.
I mean,
You want to put in for vacation?
Yeah, I'm going wild.
oh boy.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, sir, thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you all.
Glad you're feeling better.
Thank you, buddy. Oh, that's another thing. I want to tell you all, I had to call the EMS Thursday morning. They did an excellent job getting me out of the house, in the ambulance, to the emergency room, and the new bed and the ambulances. I give them a thumbs up.
I know they got you on video, it's pretty neat.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Director Hatfield. At this time, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the requested to pay the cleanup day workers at a rate of 30 per hour. You need clarification when the checks cut immediately, or?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I guess with the checks to be cut immediately upon,
Somebody would have to prepare the list and submit it.
okay, so the checks being prepared immediately upon the submission of the list.
I'll second Sean's motion.
Okay, got a motion by 2nd District Magistrate Logston to approve immediate pay for the workers at cleanup day, submitting the list to the treasurer. A second by 1st District Magistrate Mitchell. Any more discussion? Sam, call the roll, please.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Number 5, Ms. Harper, action is requested in an agreement with iWork to secure permit for issuing software for planning and zoning, solid waste, and code enforcement.
Good morning. I'm requesting that you all sign an agreement with the county for new permitting software for planning and zoning, solid waste, and code enforcement. Our current software is over 20-something plus years old. Their company was bought out by another company, and they fired all the employees that provide
Nice.
yeah, exactly. So if anything happens to our system up there right now, we have no support. So we have been working for the last couple months looking at different software options that are out there. Right now, we have decided to go with iWorks. This is used in several surrounding counties as well as many counties in Kentucky and across the U.S. They will offer an online platform so people can actually go online to request a permit. They can pay online. If they don't fill everything out, it will come back to us. We will make sure they have everything to approve it before we actually issue a permit. What's really neat that's moving forward is you upload the plans on here. So if you do an address, those plans are always going to stay with this address. So 10 years from now, if you want to see, you know, the building plans, you can go online, pull it up and see what was built. Online payment, there is GIS data and mapping, so we have unlimited users. So within the county, we will have one for all of us over there on the 3rd floor, but we can also give PVA access, where they can go in and run a report of all the permits that we issued that month, and they can see the plans. So they're not actually going out and having to physically measure.
Oh, wow.
The plans are right there. Currently, it's kind of, they get our building plans and they get our permitting report. It's in Excel, which I think it's hard for them to import. So now it'll be easier. We're going to work with this actual company to do the report that they can actually import all the data that we inputted to their system. So it's going to save a lot of time between departments and getting it, you know, if we issue a permit at 10:55, PVA can get that information at 11 o'clock. So it's going to be instant. We're asking now, it's in the budget for next year, but we're asking now if we can go ahead and sign the contract because of the issue we're having with our old system, that if, what they're going to do is take all the data that we currently have, they're going to import that into their system. So that's going to take some time. And we're going to work with them on the forms and what we need. Once we get into the next budget, we will have all that excuse me, done, that we can start working in our office with that. The setup fee is $16,000, so that's going to be for them to do all our forms, have it online, have the Bullitt County logo on it. They're going to take all our old data, import that into the new data. So that's a $16,000 setup fee. Yearly is going to be $25,000 annually, and that they're going to host all of our data on their platform, unlimited training. So if we have a new employee come in, they will come down, they will train that employee on everything. If we want changes to a certain permit, that's all included in that $25,000 annual fee. So I think, you know, from right now where we're at with a very archaic permitting thing that we can't really, we don't know what's going on within the other departments because everybody has their own little special thing. You all will be able to go, if you have a, you know, a situation, say, hey, something's happening at this property, you all can go online, type in that address, and you will see every complaint, every permit that they pulled, every inspection that's ever been done on that property. So it's only going to benefit, you know, the magistrates and the community and our department as well.
Are they keeping the backup and everything, or there'll always be a backup there to take care?
They will host the backup.
Okay.
Everything will be backed up.
Okay, all right, good.
So we're just trying to get ahead of the curve, getting everything ready, so when we, you know, next fiscal year, that we can actually start using this system. Any questions?
Well, it might, we could ask her. Go ahead.
I guess it's about a year or so ago that when electricity gets cut off, we had some contractors talking about, you know, they'd love to see permits done online. You mentioned, was this going to fall in play with that as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So if they have everything that's needed, and they fill out everything, they can automatically get a permit.
Okay.
Yes. I think code enforcement has the issue with commercial permitting, that they have to actually see the contract between the electrician and we're gonna have to work that out.
Okay.
But if it's residential and they have everything, it shouldn't be any problem to get that permitting.
So you say the commercial aspect will be on there also?
It will, but I think it's going to get to a point where they say, because they're based on what they charge the customer, their fee is. So they will probably upload the contract, it will be sent to the office, someone will review that and put in the total amount due. But then they would instantly get the total amount due emailed to them, and they can go on and pay it.
I got you.
Yep.
But with us, if it's a building permit and they have the plans and they have the site plan and, if it's on septic, if they have the health department approval, that's all uploaded. We can issue the permit. We will still review everything to make sure everything's correct, but it will be simultaneously.
Good.
Well, I think it's a win-win situation, and I'd be glad to put it in form motion, but it'll go into next year's budget.
Correct.
So if you go ahead and proceed with it and everything, you'll have it ready by then, and because we have a line item for that anyway.
Yes.
All right, and I'll put that in form motion.
Well, they need that 16,000 now to go ahead and get started, to start working on that, and then the
Probably, yes, and then we can pay the 25.
We're good with that?
Yeah, we are.
I'll second that motion.
Yep. Okay, good deal. We have thank you, Ms. Harper. We have
Ma'am, thank you.
motion by First District Magistrate Mitchell, a second by Second District Magistrate Logsdon to move forward with the iWork secure permit solution as presented by Ms. Harper for the fiscal court. And this literally will make our process seamless up there, which we've been trying to get to across all the buildings.
Well, I think what is so beautiful about this and everything, all the other department heads and everything will be able to access anything they want in Mighty County. That's,
We have a lot, with animal control. So
Right.
they can be able to log in now and see if a conditional use permit's been issued for a kennel or dog breeding. So I think it's gonna benefit everybody.
It will.
It's gonna save a lot of time.
Yep,
Yeah, well, thank you, Felicia. I think it's
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you all very
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
thank you. Sam, call the roll, please.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Logsdon?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Reho?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Under new business, number 6, actions requested on the updated MSD Bullitt County Sanitation District agreement, which they passed a week or so ago. And
Make a motion, we approve resolution 2105.
Yes.
What it is.
and I'll second that motion, as myself and Magistrate Ray Hill has had a lot of discussion with this.
I just got couple of questions and everything, and on the agreement and everything, that if either side decides that they want to terminate it, this can be done with a 2-year notice. Is that correct? Joe, I know, Joe, you've been involved with this for a long time, and which I think is really good for the court and everything, that you've been there and everything, all through this and everything.
Yeah, we've been working on this for
Long time.
how long? 3 or 4 years, probably.
Yeah,
So
probably.
trying to get it all, if there's a termination notice, I don't know exactly if it's 2 years, is it?
2 years.
I know we went back and forth on it, and then there's, whatever advance money they put into it, we'll have to negotiate
Okay.
that situation, but,
Right.
yeah, as long as it's running, and they're gonna have an advisory board on it where we, kinda like the water board.
Potable water, right.
Yes.
Yep.
So we'll be able to make sure that they stay in guidance. They're still going with I think we got, 8 more years on our agreement of increasing
On user fees.
user fees of it.
There was-
So they're sticking with that, then after that, we'll have to watch them, see what goes on. But it's only for sewers.
Yeah.
It's not for water, it's not for wastewater systems, it's not, if you go,
It's not
and I
for-
looked at, we got a house in Louisville, and it just amazes me what they're paying just for wastewater in there. It's unreal. I mean, my water bill in one house that's sitting vacant, it's like $117. It's crazy. So it's just for what they use. It's not for any wastewater. If you're gonna use 1,000 gallons of sewer, you're gonna pay for 1,000 gallons. And it's, even if they go all the way to the top rate in the next 8 years, it'll still never match up what Shepherdsville's charging.
Right.
So I think it's a win-win. I mean, they're gonna, we won't hear that, there's sewer running out in the road, sewer running out in the ditches, or sewer, they're gonna upgrade it and send it, so I think it's a win-win for us.
Right. And also to help you, Magistrate Mitchell, it's Bullitt County will be a separate block entity, like Oldham County is, so the debt service and everything won't be tied into Jefferson County.
Right. The other thing I wanted to ask and everything, on the severance pay and everything, on the agreement and everything, the employees and everything, all that's gonna be taken care of and everything with that, Joe?
Yeah, every employee gets an opportunity to work for them.
Yeah.
You know, and they're pretty much, as long as they're a good employee, they're gonna get a job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like, we had some discussions with some of the employees that, you know, I'm automatic, and I said, no, if you're a good employee, just like any other employer is you'll get a job, you know, for sure, because why wouldn't you? You've been working at this plant for 20 years, you know this plant, you know how to run it, you know where the lines are. I want to, you know, make you an asset. So yes. So if they decide to, you know, not, yeah, there's a severance, some kind of a severance package.
There is, yeah, I read that.
But they're going to hopefully retain all the employees.
Okay, okay. All right, and then the calendar year on 2026 and everything, when they start the increase and everything on the wastewater and everything, after all that's done over a period of years.
It ain't wastewater.
Huh?
It ain't wastewater.
I mean, that's what they do.
Sewage.
Sewer water, I mean sewer water.
Yes.
I'm not wastewater, but sewer water. And then they will have a 3% increase after all that's done and everything, through the years and everything. So that's pretty much in line with inflation and everything too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're suggesting even if they took the maximum increase throughout that time, it's still not even comparable to what Shepherdsville's currently
comparable, or even to Louisville.
Or even Louisville, either one.
Yeah, either one. So it's, you know, we run the numbers, it's a pretty decent, you know. You know, the biggest thing is, you know, we had to push about big government and everybody taking over, you know, the MSD debt and everything, and we made sure there was stipulations in there that they couldn't touch it.
Right.
Different entity be able to raise it, and no wastewater. We take care of our own wastewater.
Right. And to help you, Magistrate Logston, it was modeled after the same agreement that we did with Louisville Water Company with City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky Turnpike, and Salt River years ago.
And we talked to Oldham County's magistrates and went through all their processes. The lucky thing is they went through all the processes before we did.
Right.
You know, you know, they quit and walked out and done everything until they got a good agreement, so we got lucky to let them go through the pains of everything first.
All right,
Thanks for all your work on it.
The only other thing on there, it says the board consists of the county judge executives, chairman of the board of the Bullitt County Sewer District and everything, and Hillview and these other mayors and everything. But I personally would like to see, along with the judge executive and everything, Joe, I would really like to ask you if you'd stay on that board or be there, because I know you've been on this thing from day one and everything, and you've got a lot of expertise in this. And I personally would like to ask you to stay on board or whatever and everything, if the judge don't have a problem with keeping you on there with him, because you have such knowledge and everything over this.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, now it's going to get a lot more easy.
I know it will. I know it will.
It's going to be easier. There were some times that, you know, every kind of when you're discussing, but yeah, absolutely. If there's any way possible that I could stay involved in it, now I like to see how, to be honest with you, I'm going to see how this thing's going to line out and everything's going to make sure it does what it should, you know.
All right, I appreciate that very much and everything. If the court and everything don't have a problem with that, and I don't think the judge executive has any problem being there with you too and everything, so.
No.
You all right with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
All right, well, thank you, appreciate that. That's all I had. There were just some things that I went over, wanted to bring out and everything, so, appreciate that.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody, and especially Rob. Rob put it, he's probably got a couple less hairs. He's put a lot of work and a lot of.
We got several boxes worth of files on the sanitation district.
So for years and years, so I want to appreciate his work and expertise on. He's kind of a herder, I called him. He's like keeping these guys in line.
Right.
He'd walk them right through. But yeah, it was a good struggle, but I think it's going to be a blessing for our county for sure.
Right.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you all for doing your due diligence. At this time, any other discussion? Hearing none, Sam, call the roll, please.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Ms. Sharp, Treasurer Sharp, the first reading of Budget Ordinance 20-08, Amendment number 6, please.
In summary form, ordinance relating to the annual budget and amendment thereof, whereas the county of Bullitt has provided budgetary receipts from the general, road, jail, LEA, EMS, and dispatch funds be ordained by the fiscal court of the county of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky. Section 1, the budget for fiscal year 2021 is amended to Section A, road, jail, EMS, or LGEA, EMS, and dispatch funds by $5,992,611.22 and include unbudgeted receipts from account code 01, the general fund, in the amount of $5,139,354.71. Account code 02, the road fund, by the amount of $591,333.82. Account code 03, the jail fund, amount $189,814.08. Account code 04, the LGEA fund, by $41,018.80. Account code 09, description is EMS fund, amount by $19,089.81. Account code 77, the dispatch fund, by the amount of $12,000. Section B is the increase of the expenditure accounts in the account code 01 by the general fund by $5,139,354.71. Account code 02, road fund, $591,333.82. Account code 03, jail fund, $189,814.08. Account code 04, LGEA fund, $41,018.80. Account code 09, EMS fund, $19,089.81. Account code 77, dispatch fund, $12,000. Please note this amendment is in summary form. However, you may request to view the amendment in its entirety in the county treasurer's office during normal business hours Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Page 2, Section 2, the amount adjusted to receipts and expenditures, Section accounts in Section 1 are for governmental purposes, and this is the first reading in the budget and requires no action.
Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer Sharp. Number 8, actions requested on the surplus items from Sheriff's Office. See the attached list.
Walt had to step out, but I don't think there's anything that really
No, there's
needs to be. I'll put the form of motion that we surplus the items from the Sheriff's Office as submitted.
And I'll second that motion.
We first and seconded your surplus items. I don't think there's any.
Okay.
Anything added?
No, sir, and most of that stuff is those are primarily items that were left over when the Red Cross vacated. They were kind enough to they left a good number of stuff, and several items were very good and we can use them, but these are things that we don't have any use for.
Okay.
How you coming down there?
We turned the key over, I think, Friday to Mark up upstairs.
Right.
And we're in. We've still got some other stuff. The fence, the materials for the fencing had not come in as they were supposed to start last week, but the Patent Fencing is putting a fence up, and he said he thinks the materials will be here Wednesday or Thursday. So we're coming along pretty good.
That's good.
And I can't tell you how much I appreciate on behalf of everybody at the Sheriff's Office and the people of the county. This is, it's long overdue, and the space will be put to good use.
Good deal.
Once we get everything settled in a little bit, I'll have everybody over and show you what we've done with it.
Awesome. Yeah.
Appreciate it. I just think it's a good location, and I think it's going to be a big benefit.
There you go. There's some back there if you want some. All right. Well, thank you, Sheriff Scholler. Are you putting that in form of motion?
I think it's already.
Yeah.
Motion.
You already have a motion. You second.
Yep, good deal. Got a motion by First District Magistrate Mitchell, a second by Second District Magistrate Logston to approve the sheriff's surplus list as presented. Sam, call the roll.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Action requested on number 9 to change Robert Glenn, and we hired him temporarily at the animal control. from making from temporary to a part-time person, same rate of pay, effective back to April 28th of 2021.
Second.
Got a second by 4th District Magistrate Rayhill. Any discussion? Sam, call the roll.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Motion carried.
There you go. And number 10, this is one that's near and dear to us, is court action requested to pay the EMS dispatch debt in full, and also on that, while Mr. Griffey's up here, we'd like to also do a standing order to pay off 3 other debts in the near future.
Yes, sir, thank you. Yeah, this is a big day. We are going to ask you all to approve cutting a check no greater than $3,575,000 to be sent to U.S. Bank. This will be put in escrow to pay off our debt through the bond service. By doing this, we will save over $100,000 on paying this off through the term. This also frees up in our budget $535,000 a year.
Right.
We can actually use for infrastructure, updating the county, the things that we need to do. Again, this is the first that we'll be able to pay off. We're in line to pay off the loan that was the EMS, the smaller EMS loan that we have. We can write a check for that. The 2 other debts that we have are part of the bond. They are issued through a bond company. So again, we'll have to go through the same process. However, if we pass this, and again, this will be 2 motions. We'll do this in 2 separate motions. By doing it with the standing order, Ms. Sharp and Mr. Flaherty, I've talked to both of them. We're in agreement on how this will be done. This will be part of the standing order in next year's budget, so that we can go forward when we're ready to pay the next one. We can just wire the money out. The banks would rather have a wire. They are taking a check on this. I told them I would hand deliver it. It has to go to Minnesota. Don't think I can make it to Minnesota.
My goodness.
We're gonna overnight it. And the reason we've got this cap at this amount is that the rates change daily. We'll get the amount net tomorrow. It won't go over that. This is actually, I bumped that up a little bit, so it'll be less than that. And when we get that, I'll give it to Ms. Sharp so that she can cut that check. We'll overnight it and make sure it gets there. And then 1 down and 3 to go.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I'd be glad to put that in motion. I always like to see these things done.
Second.
Got a motion by 1st District Magistrate Mitchell, a second by 3rd District Magistrate Laswell to approve the cutting of a check to pay off the bond payment for the dispatch center. And it will be cut instantly and sent forward. Any other discussion?
It's always good to pay off something early.
Yeah.
Hearing none, Sam, call the roll, please.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. And now I need a motion on the standing order to pay off the remaining 3 debts that we have.
Okay, I have a question. Was that included in that motion for me to cut a check on keep getting the total?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
it was,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
gonna be to cut the check when we get the total.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll make the motion to do the standing order to pay off the remaining 3 debts, the detention center, the courthouse EMS budget, and energy savings in those orders.
EMS will just cut a check for.
We can cut a check for that one, right?
It's a separate loan that we
Right.
can write a check for.
It's just a principal one. Yes, sir.
I'll second that.
Now, the second by Magistrate Logston. Any other discussion, gentlemen, members of the court? Sam, call the roll, please.
Can I ask a question on that? I'm sorry. So the debts on that, so it's the detention center, the energy savings, and then what else?
Those 2.
Just those 2?
Those 2.
The standing order.
Yeah, on the standing order. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Judge Summers?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
And thank you, members of the court. So it's sort of like the guy on TV, we'll be debt-free. Okay, you have in your packet, gentlemen, a attendance policy for EMS. This is no different than the one that we did for, when I'm going to say the dress code down there. And I'd like for you to review it until next court meeting of June 1st. And get your thoughts on it.
Is this going to line up with just EMS, or is this all Bullitt County employees?
This is the EMS employees, okay? And Director Cook and Ms. Walls, we're happy to take your questions, and I will too, okay? Any of us.
I like it for all of Bullitt County, to be honest with you, but I mean, EMS is all right.
We can do that as well, Joey. We just need to break them down one at a time.
Yes, sir.
John.
And thank you all for that. At this time, we have no other business. Robin, we have a speaker. Robin, if you can come up, please.
We'll take any court business.
I really don't have anything to say other than congratulations.
Thank you.
Robbie. And well, a couple things. My name is Robin Gilback. I live in Bullitt County. And I'm just wondering when you'll relinquish Bullitt County people from paying fees from our insurance on our homes. You all added another year to it while you all were in court when we weren't here.
Get a little closer.
We took it away.
If you don't care.
You all said it was going to be in 2022.
Yeah, and it is.
You all added another year. It was only supposed to be 2021.
But there was no years on it. We just put it on there, and then we come back. If I'm right, we come back and said,
When no one
we're
was
taking
here,
it.
and you added another year to us.
I don't think
You
we
are
did.
paying debts off, but you're taking money from the people. It's really sad.
Do you like your roads? Do you like your sheriff department? Do you like EMS?
I don't know.
Do you like any of that? It costs money.
I know, and they also cost money because you add industry and more to the community that impacts our roads, that impacts our EMS,
Ma'am,
you know?
we apologize.
Sure you do. But the question is McKesson paying $25 an hour? Is that how they're paying all their employees?
No, it's $20.25 an hour is what they start at.
I just wanted to make sure. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Robin. At this time, Dennis?
Well, I had something I wanted to talk to the court and everything about and everything. Some of our roads and everything that we researched and everything, and which I'm glad we're doing this and everything, but some of these roads and everything that we're researching and everything, I'd like to see where maybe have to be out some of these roads that the blacktop is getting way, way too high. If we can mill some of these roads and everything, we could save the milling and everything. The milling and everything is about $25 a ton. If you went there to buy it, whatever and everything. And a lot of these companies and everything will use this and sell it for $25 a ton. But if we use this, and some of the roads that I'm just using, I want to use, for example, Highland Springs up here and everything. We're researching that, which is a good thing and everything. But some of these things are getting too high. And it's tearing these cars up, because when they try to get off and everything, it tears the bottoms of the cars and everything. It just tears them all to pieces. So some of these roads actually needs to be milled, and we can utilize our road department to haul the milling away and use it on our shoulders. Which, like I say, this rock and everything, you're looking $13, $14, $15 a ton. Where this milling is about $25 a ton, but we can use it on our shoulders and everything. But that would help offset everything, the price that we're paying for the contract some of these roads out. I'd love to see that. It's not I'm taking anything away from the road department, because they got money to do. But utilize this milling and everything, put on these shoulders and everything, and it keeps these roads, these blacktop roads down to where it's not detrimental to the public out there. So I would really like for the court and everything to look and consider that, because I think it'd be a benefit to the counties in a big way.
Okay.
Is that something, you're talking about when you do the milling on the road, you're able to resalvage that material and use it for the shoulders?
Yes, sir.
Have we done that before in the past? Or?
Well, I mean, we've used some of the milling in different places, but we've got so many of these roads and everything are getting so high and everything that it's tearing these people's cars up and everything, but if we go in there and we mill this thing down a couple inches and everything and do the resurfacing on everything, we can benefit by using these millings and everything back on the side of the shoulders, which will help people a lot. It really will. I want y'all to think about that, and I just wanted to bring that up and everything so we could do that.
Whose call would it be? Is there a certain thickness?
I didn't hear you.
Whose call would that be? You know, say, is there a certain thickness of a road that needs to?
Well, any of the roads, and I think our road superintendent will say, hey, these things are just,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
it's into a situation it's detrimental to our homeowners and everything. And like I say, it's going to be a benefit to the county.
I was just trying to make it across the board is, you know, is it the call of Robert?
Right, it is. It needs to be the superintendent and everything, because he can advise us and everything, what needs to be done, and he can see that some of these places and everything needs to be bid out where we can do the milling and turn around and blacktop it, and I think it's going to be a lot less expensive, but it helps people too.
So you're saying at some point, instead of just saying that road needs to be resurfaced, there got to be a line drawn in the sand to say that it's been resurfaced too much at this point, and it's already too tall, we need to cut it down and then redo it.
We got places out there, and I can show you some of the roads and everything. It's got 12, 13 inches of blacktop on them where they just keep doing this and everything. And they're dropping off on the shoulders when they're trying to pass and everything, and it's hard on them. So, and let the superintendent and everything make a decision, say, yes, this road here needs to be milled. And we done that up there off of Kings Church Road there last year. And you got some of them that's got these curbs and everything on them. You can't go in there and blacktop over that because you're putting the asphalt down in the curb, and that don't do you any benefit at all.
Right.
So those need to be milled and then resurfaced.
I agree.
And I think that our superintendent can advise us what needs to be, the roads that needs to be done like that. So, I just want to make a point of that and everything, so.
It's a good idea.
Taken. We'll get Robert over here and get him to roll that marble around.
There you go. There you go. All right, well, that's all I had right now.
Okay. Mr. Lawson?
No, it's good to see people, good to be back in person, and things are starting to feel more and more normal every day, so just appreciate everybody being here today, and it's good to be here. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Laswell?
I don't really have anything this morning, Judge.
Mr. Grayhill?
I just want to say thank you for Keith and everything. I said it's amazing that we take the insurance tax, and a lot of times they go through, you know, you don't see nothing done. You don't see anything going on. If you walk over to EMS, you'll be amazed at what a year's done. I mean, it's the first time I've seen these people smile in a long time. They're doing I think they're doing very well, and we're investing a lot of money into them, into our safety of our county. And even, my goodness, have you ever seen a county entity pay off bills? Lord have mercy, we're paying stuff off, we're working, we're getting debt free, we're working as a good, solid business, and everybody's working well together, and that's amazing to me. Well, the first 4 years was a little different, but but it is good, and I understand about taxes. I don't want to pay them in either, but I sure like seeing that money spent in a very good way. You know, I don't mind paying a little extra money when I'm getting a benefit for it, and I think Bullitt County residents are getting a very good benefit for what they're being charged. And I've never heard of a company or a county say, okay, in 2022, we don't need your money no more. We're going to pay everything off, and you can have your money back. That's almost unheard of. So I just want to thank the court, and I want to thank the judge's right hand and left hand, and Ms. Sharp. You know, they're doing it very well, and everybody it's doing. And I'm not running for office. I just amazes me, and I love being in here in the draw of people. You know, sitting between the computer screen is just, it's awful. Yeah. And I'm getting bigger. You know, that's the problem. Thank you, Judge. No, that's all I got.
You're welcome.
I will sneak one more thing, because I'll be honest, just kind of addressing Rob, and I wasn't a fan of the insurance tax at the beginning, and quite frankly, really didn't vote for it. But, you know, I sit here now and realize, and I've got to thank each one of these individuals up here, because I questioned as a new magistrate how that money would be spent and how it would be used, but we're paying off some significant debt here that's never been done before. And I got to applaud the court, the judge, and everybody for doing what they said they were going to do when they did vote for this. and it wasn't spent, unwisely. It was spent the right way, the way it was promised, and it was set as a sunset clause where it was presented immediately that it was going to be taken off. And quite frankly, I wondered if that was true, but we voted for it to be taken off. It is going to be taken off, and you can see that we just voted today to pay off the debt for the detention center, the energy savings program, and then the jail, the courthouse. 3 major debts, and one of them just going to save us over $530,000 a year. So I was a skeptic of it, but now it's in the hands of the cities. The cities always had the ability to take that, and luckily the judge did work close with the mayors where they held off long enough for us to do this and to pay off this debt. But I'd encourage you to talk to I don't know where you live or what your city is, but we can drop this, but they can pick it back up. But we as a court have voted, and like I said, I'm kind of sounding like I'm not trying to say hypocritical, but I wasn't a fan of it at the beginning. But I stand here now saying, wow, it's amazing to see, what it did do for this county and for the people. We were talking earlier about our tax bill. I'm in Mount Washington. My tax bill, the money that goes to the county to support all these agencies that we have to support is significantly less than what Mount Washington takes from me to support the city. So we're supporting so much more as a county, but yet my tax bill, the money I pay in the city of Mount Washington, is significantly larger than what I'm having to pay into the county to support all the agencies and the roads and the EMS and the jail and sheriff's department and PVA and everything else that goes into play. But I just wanted to say that because I was one that wasn't a fan of it, the thought of it, I guess I should say, at the beginning, not knowing, whether we were going to do what we said we were going to do. And everybody up here, including the judge's office, has done, I think, an outstanding job, including Keith and Kay and Treasurer Sharp of doing what they said they were going to do from the beginning. So I applaud everybody else that did help pay off these major debts.
Okay, thank you all. And thank Kay, because we wasn't even going to spend a nickel of it on a pencil. So, and we didn't. And originally, to help you, Robin, it was set for July 1 of 2022. The projected revenue coming in is going to handsomely pay off this, of which we got a pass this year on the state. The 12% increase to our 259 employees we wasn't billed for it. And that's huge moving forward, because when you do run the numbers on the savings or the return on the investment, 2026, 2028, at the rate the community's growing and the way that we have to do business, someone's going to have to make some real tough decisions into as well. But as we sit here as a court at the end of this 2022 administration, we're comfortable about where we're going. We've added, we inherited an EMS service that had 3 ambulances running on a couple 100,000 miles a day. We now run 7. We run 5, and they have modern equipment. And I can't say enough about what we've done when you look at the amount of road work that we've done and everything else that we're able to put back into the community for the for the benefit of those living in this community and those passing through our community. And I'm taking full accountability for it. I did in the beginning. And there'll be a day of reckoning for me in July 2020 or in 2022. So we'll see where it stands in. But at this time, I would like to take my hat off to Ms. Walls, Eric Cook, our new director of EMS, Justin, our new director of emergency management. And I would like to recognize all of them for the significant work that they put in the last 2 years under the tutelage of Director Harden. And because we have came a long ways, and public safety is still number one. We just went through a 14-month pandemic. We did absolutely an outstanding job through that pandemic with communication with all the local agencies, some of them still here in court in attendance. And it's also EMS Appreciation Week. So if you get the opportunity, stop in, see what we've done, take them a sandwich or two, at least pat them on the back. Also, this coming Monday night at the Bullitt County Board of Education, under this administration, what we did do, we partnered with the Jefferson Community Technical School System and Bullitt County School System, and we put together a EMT certification program for our seniors across the board from Bullitt East, Central, and North. 14 of them are getting their degrees, their certification from JCTC, of which 11 of them is going to stand at the Health and Family Services Cabinet to get their real certification to where they can get out and be an EMT every day, of which most of them want to stay with us here. They're all local young men and women who we presented the opportunity for them to have a career in the healthcare industry. And we had discussions with the school board yesterday, and we'll be moving forward with probably a larger and greater EMT class this coming year as well. And also we will move out into a couple other degree fields as well. I'd like to thank Chief Moulton. I don't know if you know him or not. Kevin, if you please stand up for just a minute. He's a new chief of the Zolton Fire Department, and he's got some big shoes to fill. So I encourage everyone in this room to work with him and give him time to get on his feet. I know he has a good relationship with both Eric and Justin, and Billy and all you guys. Just give him a hand if you can. And again, congratulations, Chief. We know you'll do well, and Zolton has always been a class act, and we know you'll continue that. And I'd like to recognize Mayor Owen Taylor from Fox Chase. Thank you, Owen. Owen was one of the cities, and I would like to thank the cities of Mount Washington, Shepherdsville, Fox Chase, and Lebanon Junction and Hillview for not delving into what I'm going to say, the insurance premium surcharge. And that's exactly what it was. It's not a tax. You look on all your local bills, you will see a surcharge on there for everything. From electric, if you have cable, telephone, there's a surcharge on there. They don't go away, they get smaller. So at this time, that's all my comments for today. And Dennis, what time is it?
Well, I'm going to put it in form of a motion that we adjourn, and I want to thank everybody for coming out today, and put that in form of a motion that we do adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion by First District Magistrate Mitchell, second by Second District Magistrate Logston to adjourn the Bullitt County Fiscal Court meeting of May the 18th, 2021. Sam, call the roll, please.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Logston?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell? Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes, ma'am.
Adjourn?
See if I just push that button.
Yeah, I think you might have to hold it in though. I think you have to hold it.
Yep.